This is KHQ Local News, 11 and 11, right now.
Good evening and welcome to a special edition of KHQ Local News 11 at 11. I'm Chelsea Kopta. Stephanie has the night off. Well, it is Friday night. Students are back to school, and you know what that means. It's time for some high school football. So right after KHQ 11 at 11, the SWX Tonight crew takes over and we'll have the latest scores and stats from around the area with Friday Night Lights. But first, Friday night football means none other than fall is on its way, and it's already starting to feel a little chilly outside. Well, on the last big holiday weekend of the summer, if you don't have plans, you can still check out Pig Out in the Park. The annual event kicked off on Wednesday, but rain kept away the big crowds this weekend. You won't be alone, though. Organizers are expecting thousands to take part in the Riverfront Park Food Fest. You won't find anything that costs more than $9, and most items are much less. And remember, with Labor Day coming up this Monday, you should try to get your errands done early because there are going to be a lot of closures come September 5th. The most common: banks, government agencies, schools, post offices, and waste management services. You can find a link to our local closures right now on KHQ.com. Just click on the Find It bar. Developing news tonight out of Cheney, where police confirmed a car struck a pedestrian. We just confirmed that person was rushed to Sacred Heart Medical Center for her injuries, but we don't know the extent of those injuries just yet. State Patrol was called to the scene, which did block off several lanes in the area of Route 1 and Cheney-Spokane Road, but the roads are now back open. We'll continue to give you more details as soon as we get them. A Moses Lake man who made a threatening phone call to the governor's office was sentenced to 3 months in jail. 60-year-old Jeffrey Cornell pled guilty to threatening the governor and was sentenced in Grant County Superior Court. The sentence amounts to time he has already served since he was charged in May. Court papers say Cornell called the governor's office asking for her birth certificate, but when a staff member told him she was going to transfer him to someone who could help, Cornell became angry and said he would, quote, crash and burn into your White House and I will blow you up, end quote. Fire investigators with the Washington State Department of Natural Resources determined that the salmon fire near Omak was human-caused. Sparks from grinding equipment ignited the dry brush, which then sparked the huge fire. The salmon fire has burned 1,800 acres in the Green Lake area, 5 miles west of Omak. It started on Monday and is currently 75% contained. Crews continue to work on fire containment lines. They are extinguishing and cooling an area 200 feet wide around the fire's perimeter and 500 feet wide around all buildings. You can always count on KHQ Local News to bring you the latest on wildfires around the inland Northwest. Well, a new home, same great program. The Boys and Girls Club of Kootenai County happily announced today after-school programs will begin running at Sorensen Magnet School of the Arts and Humanities. Cost is $20 per child for the entire school year. After-school programs are currently running at the Church of the Nazarene in Post Falls with an average daily attendance of 125 kids and will begin at Sorensen Magnet School of the Arts and Humanities this fall. Registration forms will be available at Lakes Magnet Middle School and Sorensen Magnet Schools of the Arts and Humanities on Tuesday, September 7th. After a series of serious criminal activity, homeowners in the Indian Trail neighborhood are fed up. They held a meeting last night to discuss what should be done. The latest incident involved a home at Janice and Valerie, in which a homeowner's front yard angel statue was tossed through a bay window for no discernible reason. At last night's meeting, homeowners say they need to do something to take back their neighborhood from criminals. At the same meeting, Spokane police urged neighborhood vigilance and pushed the See Something, Say Something campaign. As part of our pledge to aggressively follow big local stories, we have the latest on the University of Idaho's tragic murder-suicide from last month. U of I President Dwayne Nellis started to put together an independent review panel, and today he updated that progress. President Nellis wrote in an email to staff, quote, "We've identified a group of experts in the areas of higher education, student affairs, campus security, and legal affairs who we believe will provide valuable insight and analysis. The panel members will review and assess relevant safety and security policies and procedures as they relate to the safety of students, faculty, and staff. Their findings and recommendations will be provided as quickly as possible, preferably within 30 to 60 days, end quote. On September 9th, the university will go to court It's petitioning to release alleged gunman and former professor Ernesto Bustamante's personnel file, which has been kept sealed due to Idaho state law. It's been an unforgiving week on our local lakes. 2 young men lost their lives in the waters of North Idaho and northeastern Washington, and today recovery crews say both bodies have been found. On Wednesday, John David Baker of Newport was cliff diving from a popular spot into Davis Lake when he slipped and fell into the water. After friends weren't able to find him, the Pend Oreille County Sheriff's Office and Kalispell Indian Reservation divers joined the search. His body was found yesterday, submerged in 90 feet of water. Baker was jumping off of a cliff that was 67 feet high, an incredibly dangerous height. Meantime, the body of Riley O'Dwyer of Coeur d'Alene was also found yesterday, submerged in about 130 feet of the waters of Lake Coeur d'Alene. Recovery crews found his body using scan-side sonar. O'Dwyer fell off the back of a pontoon boat on Tuesday. The Kootenai County Sheriff's Office tells us an autopsy will be performed on O'Dwyer sometime next week. Here's the latest on that massive warehouse fire out in Airway Heights earlier this week. Take a look. This was the scene when KHQ arrived at the fire. The fire destroyed a large part of the building. There's the video. And friends of one man who owned Spokane Stair and Cabinet say he lost everything. They say Doss Spots had $300,000 worth of equipment, materials, and unfinished jobs in the warehouse when it caught fire. According to his friends, insurance will only cover about $4,000 of that. Doss was the only one renting out space in that warehouse at the time of the fire. Investigators continue looking into what happened last night on Highway 2 near Aloika Lake when a Spokane teenager and a Colbert man were seriously injured in a head-on crash. Detectives say 24-year-old Sean Grace was heading south and drifted into the northbound lane where his car hit a pickup truck driven by Brent Williams of Spokane. A 15-year-old girl in the pickup was injured as well as Grace. Both were taken to the hospital.
Nice.
It does. It's hot, it's warm, it's sunny.
But starting out chilly, though. It's going to be chilly. It's kind of feeling like football weather out there.
You said it was getting into the 90s, right?
Yeah, by the time we get to the middle of the next week, yeah, mid-90s. But tonight's a big night. We're going to leave you here. We're both saying good night here at 11:11 because